131 und so geht es weiter. Hey ja, hey ja, hey ja, oh, hey ja, hey ja, oh, hey ja, oh, hey. Hey, hey, ya, oh, 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 hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, oh. What I've learned gambling crypto is that I'm only doing long-term holds and no short-term bets no more. Although the opportunity looked amazing, but it was a scam. But that's no problem, we have only lost some $30. It is so easy for the good learning experience. You gotta pay to play, you gotta pay to learn, you gotta pay to learn, you're getting paid to learn. I am getting paid to learn to work with my clients. Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. Hey Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. Yes. It is easy. Let's go through the journal. And let's do this easily. A new book, a new time. Counter example. Colon. Were there ever any men that didn't disappoint you? Question mark. Hierarchy of criteria. Colon. What would be even more important to you than being responsible? Question mark. Apply it to self. Colon. The one who is without sin shall cast the first stone at her. How long have you had this opinion? Question mark. How difficult would it be to change this belief? Question mark. How difficult would it be to change this belief? Question mark. Meta frame, colon. Meta frame, colon. Perhaps you have this belief because you are meeting some of your needs with it? Question mark. Intent. Redefine. Consequence. Chunk down. Chunk up. Analogy. Changing frame size. Another outcome. Model of the world. Reality strategy. Counter example. Hierarchy of criteria. Apply to self. Meta frame. Limiting beliefs, colon. I have a hidden agenda. Is there a hidden intent to not look at something and bring up the hidden agenda that blatantly cover it? Question mark. Tell me what's on the agenda that's hidden? Question mark. Let's reveal the outcome of this hidden agenda. Another outcome. Dash. The reason he worked with Breaker differently than with Shalini is because he needed a different approach. Shalini as well as Suki struggled with their model of the world, Shalini adapted it from pleasing her father, and for Suki it was pleasing her mother. For Suki, it was a combination of circumstances of moving to a different country that made her pattern intensify and being brought to the light. So he, in step 4 of his intervention, showed how this pattern served her through a tough time and can now be let go of, period. The same then with Shalini, period. The same with Breaker, period. It appears that this is most effective to speak to that pattern when the pattern tries to protect my client. Yes, the first 2 pages, man. We are going and making content. Yes, tomorrow we're going to go back into content. It's fine. We move past the losses. If we never stop, we can never lose. We are making this happen, yeah. I am utilizing leverage. Leveraging my client's identity in a sales call. I reinforce the parts of his identity, how he wants to be, and the parts that have made him successful. What he did with Vanessa was a genius move. He asked her to express her most repressed emotion in a safe way at her and gained her trust. What he did with Shalini was a genius move, colon. He linked her new identity to the glasses and shoes she was wearing, dash. So the real identity inside already became unconsciously manifest in those steps. He delineated the pattern that he was talking to from the real Shalini as she was stepping out. It isn't even new, you just remembered who you really are. He reinforced the real identity by linking pain to the pattern in saying, colon, did he meet that bitch, question mark? No, otherwise he would have ran. Dash. Prodding on her most important need for love. What he did with Gary Breaker was genius. He acknowledged the dissociation and then brought out the real Gary through a physical intervention. He talked to the old pattern. Oftentimes he conditions the new pattern by letting the client convince him, will you go back to the old bitch, question mark? Why not, question mark? Oftentimes the real person, the real identity doesn't want to be let go of, but he makes the client go back into the limiting pattern in order to talk to it and elicit the positive intent, period. In this way, the client feels talked to while at the same time feels that the pattern is being talked to. Belief chaining. Location number 1, the limiting belief. Location number 2, the positive intention of the limiting belief. Location number 3, a redefinition of some aspect of the limiting belief statement that makes it somewhat positive. Location number 4, a positive belief that is a consequence of both the positive intent as well as the redefinition. Since you're going to be having so much fun at learning at a new level, you can start looking forward to it now. I am a wealthy man. I redefine the limiting belief. I state another outcome for the limiting belief. I state another outcome for the global belief. I state another outcome for the limiting the feeling of certainty about what it takes to meet his values. I state the intent for the cause pattern of the global belief. I state the intent for the situation-specific belief. I state the intent for the of this of the belief of what it takes to meet their values. I state another outcome for his global belief. I state another outcome for what it takes to meet his values. I show or tell another outcome for the situation-specific belief. I show and tell a redefinition of the effect portion of his global belief. I show and tell a redefinition of the cause portion of his global belief. I find an analogy for the effect portion of his global belief. I find an analogy for the effect portion of his belief about what values lead to pain and pleasure. I redefine the belief, his feeling of certainty, which values lead to pain or pleasure. Yes, I am a master of the 7 master steps of lasting change. I find out what my client really wants and needs. Yes, I am not eating my bird, I am not eating my bird, no, 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 I'm going forward. Yeah, and I'm going through my journal, Yahweh, because I am easily doing this. I find out what my client really wants and needs. That means I know what his top 2 human needs are, and I also elicit what he wants, what he feels certain that having these wants gets him what he needs, which to him is a state, a feeling of having accomplished his values. So even when I know what my client really needs, I align with my client's wants and pace from there, lead from there. I find out what is preventing my client from getting what he wants. Inner conflicts, energetic blockages can be causes when they are felt. Beliefs that are inaccurate about what something means. Beliefs that are inaccurate about what something has meant in the past. The vehicles with which my client meets his needs which are not fulfilling, / meeting his needs at a high level or causing inner conflicts or energetic blockages. I find out precisely what it is that is getting in the way of my client achieving what he wants and needs. I find out precisely what is getting in the way of my client achieving what he wants and needs. This is a pattern of feeling, thoughts and giving meaning to that creates a decision and evaluation, leading my client onto a direction through accumulated effects. I understand precisely the one pattern that causes pain to my client on multiple levels. The pattern may cause him to be in a state in which he makes bad decisions that lead to unwanted effects or a painful direction. It may be a pattern of evaluation of loss less or never. I understand how to get my client to where he wants to go. I understand what feeling or part of my client is lost and can be recovered, slash uncovered, slash retrieved. I am a master of leading my client through a parts process, potentially also a family constellation or gestalt process, where they talk to their parts in different positions, but I remember that Tony Robbins' approach and the 7 master steps that are a condensation of all these approaches. I understand what my client needs and wants. I listen to what I am respecting about my client or what I like, how we are alike. I listen and connect to the energies inside of my client that he emanates and that I have inside of myself, and my self-love have a connection to. I listen to my client's top 2 human needs in his words, expressions, body language, what he omits to say. Outcome, motive or feeling, what is lost slash blocked slash can be retrieved, restored, etc. Questions yet to be answered. Difference between action and behavior. The interplay of values, beliefs, rules, and vehicles. Vehicles are meeting needs directly, ? Rules meet values, . Values are related to pain and pleasure. System of evaluating, . State and questions. Do belief and values not play into the systems of evaluating, ? When sensation is giving meaning to it becomes perception. Is evaluating giving meaning to? Question mark. Does not the value precede the evaluation in the sense of the word when the value for oneself is being assessed? Practical application to get money in. How do I serve my client his practicing? What does he want and need? Question mark. What is getting in the way? Question mark. What feeling or part of his needs to be restored? Question mark. What are his top 2 human needs? Question mark. How do I leverage the existing thought patterns and accumulate as many of those as I possibly can? Question mark. My own belief. I am looking so forward to tomorrow. Yes, I am a master of the 14 sleight of mouth patterns. Yes, I immediately perceive what pattern I can resolve to provide the maximum benefit to my client. The 7 master skills in life apply to everything that I am about to do, and I am creating AI agents that accomplish the tasks of these 7 master steps. Content creation is pattern interruption. Giving value in content is based on meeting his needs and values. Intriguing him, confirming his suspicions. I provide value in making him feel safe. Out of each sales call, I get massive value and better my core skills. Out of every coaching call, I get massive value and better my core skills. I create incantations for each of those. I get better so that I can provide massive value to my clients. Service and contribution is my North Star. Yes, I am a master of influencing people. I am a master of psychology and human persuasion. I get to know my client's world. In every sales call, I listen for my client's global beliefs. To be utilized as psychological leverage. In every sales call, I make sure I listen for my client's identity. I am listening for who he perceives himself to be, what qualities, characteristics, principles and standards he feels identified with and is likely to stay consistent with. I am also listening to the flip side of his identity, who he does not want to be. I am a master of utilizing my client actual keywords and away from identity for psychological leverage. March 15th. I immediately perceive my client's value system. I immediately perceive my client's one most painful pattern and how to resolve it. I delineate the pattern. I link pain to the behavior that is the pattern. I link pleasure, which comes from how his needs are being experienced and processed in thought, to the decision of changing. The decision of change comes from the system of evaluating, which is his state and the habitual questions my client is asking himself. In evaluating, I assess what value I can get out of this situation or what value would be in this decision. It is checking against our beliefs. But the beliefs and values are also the software that run on the hardware of these neuroassociatively conditioned patterns. But the belief and values are also the software that run on the hardware of these neuroassociatively conditioned patterns. A little break, eine kleine Pause, ja, halbe Stunde, ja, hey, ja, It's gonna take me just a few days to go through this big bookie, so many pages have we already done, give me a few mornings of getting back in track, getting back on touch, in touch with my teaching, who I am, and the content that is coming forth like a wellspring of joy and experience with people, Yahweh, Yes, positivity, belief, friends and actions, Yahweh, Now that I have so much fun and so much inside of me, about finance, about sales, and about marketing, I have so much knowledge in me brain, Yahweh, in my hands and my experience. I have seen so much, done so much, learned so much. I am keeping up with AI and crypto. Everything that I have, everything who I am, everything that I can do. I can do so much, and I am utilizing the January. In order to do what I can do, what I need to do to build my SaaS and get the clients to build my body and to go forward, Yahweh. That is looking great. Dann mach ich mir ne Palme, ich wähl mir keinen von der Palme, die Energie bleibt drin, Yahweh. Und so bringe ich Wert zu meinen Klienten, zu den Enten, meine Klienten, Dark on Sunday, it is easy, yes, this is easy.